Ulahavin zeh, and to understand this, yesh lahavin tchila inyan ha'havana shebishmiya ba'avodas havaya. We need to understand first the concept of listening and understanding in the service of Hashem. Mahi hisbonenus. What is this contemplation? Siv Shema Yisrael Havaya Elokeinu Chulu. So it says, listen Israel, Hashem is our Elokah, B'lashon Shema, in the language of listen. Yesh Gimel Pirushim. There are three meanings. Yesh Gimel Pirushim Anal, the three meanings we mentioned in the previous paragraph. Lashon Havana, Vizbonus, you have the meaning of understanding and contemplating. Shizbon Enech Shahavaya Echad Chulu, to contemplate how Hashem is one. Mahi Haizbonus. What is this contemplation? Kamefarish va'azil. So the Shema goes on to say that you have to think about Shavaya Elokeinu Havaya Echad, that Hashem is our Elokah and Hashem is one. Va'dal Rabasi, and the big Daled Lahoros al Seder Hayishtal Shelo Shel Hayud Mamoros, that reflects on the order of creation with the 10 sayings. Yehi Rakia Yehi Ohr Chulu. Let there be a firmament, let there be lights, let there be a firmament, let there be a firmament, let there be light, and so forth. Shekulam Mamar Echad Nimshachu, that they all came from one statement of Mamar Echad Kolalam, and one statement concludes them Yachad together. K'Mamar Razal, like our statement, the statement of our sages in Pirkei Avos, followed by Mamar Echad Yochali Barus Chulu, that it could have been created with one statement. And that's the statement of the pasuk Beraishis Bara, which is a Nami Mamar, that's also a Mamar Vu al Derech Mashal Kamo HaMachshava Ba'adam, and that's for example compared to the thought in man Shekoleles Kama Diburim, that includes in it a number of different things you would say in one thought. Shema Shiach Shobrega, that which you think in one moment, you need to speak about it in an hour. As is known, so this one thought that prefaces the many speeches that come from it, that's its true source, and includes them all, from the head to the end, including after you finish speaking. So you can understand above that before the 10 statements, you have this one thought, that includes and gazes and looks until the end. And that's called the thought of the speech. And that is to say, that which is connected in the thought to the speech, and not the thought for itself. It makes more sense to say that this is the speech of thought, like we brought in the first paragraph, the 3 levels as they are in thought. And here he's bringing down that it's the speech, the thought of the speech. So he says that it makes more sense to say this, the speech of the thought. And that's why you have the big Daled, Lahodus al Shuhu Gadlus דיבור, that it's to tell us that it's the great state of speech, not speech on its own, but speech as it is above in its source and its thought, or the thought in the speech, the highest level of speech. Velo Gadlus Machshava, to come and tell us that it's the great level of speech, not the great level of thought. Velo Gadlus Machshava Dain Omna Machshava Zu. However, this thought, Hakol Olam Yachad, that includes them all, Gedola Hi Be'erech Lagabi Hadibor, is greater than the concept of speech. Ein Zohar Truma Kuf Lamed Beis Binyan Aleph Beis Dekel Adon Shomri B'Shabos Misham Yuvan Inyan Asfan Rav Ravini Vekamo Shekos B'Makom Acher. Look what it says in Zohar Truma, and from there you can understand that we say Kel Adon on Shabbos, that you can understand from the concept of the big letters. that each one of the statements starts with the letters of the aleph base, and it corresponds with the concept of the big letters. You have there the Heichel Ha'ava in the higher level and the lower level of it. V'naseh yichud amiti b'zayin rakim u'b'daled sitrin, and you create and you cause there a true union, a true unity in the 7 firmaments and in the 4 directions. So that's through the statements of creation, as they are included in that thought of speech, that big daled. Hua daled, the echad, that's the daled of echad. So you have the 7 heavens and the earth and the 4 directions, as they are included in the fact that the daled is big. So aleph ches daled. And that's the aleph ches and the daled of echad, as is known to beruach pivis barach kol tzva'am, that with the breath of his mouth may be blessed are all their hosts, all their creation. So we're saying that it's coming from his speech, it's מחשבה of דיבור. And all the many gradative levels of the 3 worlds of they're all from the combinations of the letters of the word of Hashem, v'ruach piv, and the spirit of his mouth, ki hu amar vaya because he said, and it was, ad shein mispar l'gedudav, until to the point where there's no number to his soldiers, to his legions. Mipnei she'ein mispar v'riboy tzirufei osios hadibur chulu, because there's no end to the combinations of the letters of speech. Aval kol hadibur kolo mamash chashiv, but the whole entire concept of speech is incomparable agabe machshava ha'achas, to that is incomparable to that one thought. Shebemoach, in the mind, mispatel dibur b'metzius legamre, and the speech is nullified completely in its existence. K'sheba ve'ola el ha'machshava hakolelas chulu, when it goes up and is included in that general thought. Zeu she'omrim kadosh gimel pamim ayin sham, and that's look at them. Look over there. You have the 3 times kadosh, that depending on whether or not it's going from speech to thought or thought to higher or whatever. Havdal be'erech, this division in comparison, that he may be blessed, is much more exalted upon the entire order of creation. And that all the 6,000 years that are the world, and the 7,000th year, where you'll have the elevation of the world, Zurak, Machshava Achas Chulu, all of that after in the 7,000th, where all the world will go up back into that first thought. V'zeu Shema Yisrael Yizbon Azu Omrim L'nitzutz Eloki, and this is what we say. Listen, Israel, that this contemplation we say to the divine spark. Why are we saying listen, Israel? Because we're talking to the divine spark. Hanikra Yisrael Shizbonin B'Havaya, that's called Yisrael, that should contemplate in Havaya, Elokeinu Vaya Echad. B'Shlomar, we can say Lama Dafka Yisrael, why specifically Israel needs to contemplate about this. Ach Kilefish Yisrael Alu B'Machshava, because Israel came up in thought, Lamayla Mebechinas Umadregas Daled Rabasi, beyond the level and concept of that big Daled, Shunikra Machshava Tata, that's called the lower Machshava, this thought that's within speech, or the speech and thought. The Nikra Machshava Tata, it's called the lower thought. Hamakor Ledibur, that's the source for speech. Val Yisrael Alu B'Machshava, but Israel came up in thought. Hainu B'Machshava Ilah, that is not supernal thought. Vainu Gadlus HaMachshava, that is to say the greatest level of thought. Perish Kodem Shetavu HaMachshava L'Osios Dibur, that is to say, meaning before the thought came into the letters of speech, but to think thoughts of intellect. Like it's explained in another place, and that is the statement that Bereshis is also a statement of creation. Who perish Bereshis, who has seichel mesaratzmo, that is to say, the Bereshis is the intellect on its own. Einu meir bebichnas osios, does not shine into letters yet. Doesn't say Yehi or whatever. It does Vayomer Elokim or anything. It's the concept of as it is in thought. But since it has to be the source for speech, it's still considered, Bereshis is still considered a statement because it's the source for the statements. Even though it's in thought alone, it's still considered a statement to come into the letters of thought. And this, that our sages said that Israel came up in thought, that is to say, they came up onto that great level of thought that we mentioned here. And that is like it's brought in Medrash on the verse, you created me back and forth, that the divine souls were prefaced before the thought, before the tense in thought, before the statements of creation. Now, in truth, you cannot compare it all between the essence of the thought, the ability of thought, that's an intellect, דיבור, to the letters of thought that come into speech. That we see that the intellect will think a number of thoughts, one thought in a number of ways. The idea can be expressed in a number of thoughts. So the intellect is above the thoughts. And it's all one intellect. And one idea alone. And that is because all the letters that you think are only a garment alone to that intellect, to that idea. And further, that this intellect has to come into a measured way and division in the combination of letters of thought, and it's called the combined intellect, combined and with the letters. Which is not the case. The intellect on its own, who is simple without being combined with anything or expressed in any particular way. And these two levels of thought are not comparable one to the other. Thought as it is on his own, and thought as it is ready for speech. And so too you can understand above, when we say Hashem Echad, when we proclaim Hashem's unity, it's true that the nullification of the 7 firmaments and the 4 directions and the great Daled and how it becomes one thought, so that's thought of speech, and cannot be compared at all to the essence of thought. Before it comes to the combination of letters, and before it has division and measurement at all. Perhaps this is referring to the big ayin, of where you have the מחשבה as it's bottled to the midos bina or whatever, but he doesn't say that yet. But at any rate, this is the thought as it is on his own, before it's divided or composed at all. Is completely simple. This is what it means. Before one, what do you count? That is before this level of Aleph Ches Dalet of Echad. That is in the essence of thought. Ma'ata sofer, what can you count? Ki ein sham adayin ischalkus sphirus oros bekelim. Meaning to say that Beraishis is a Mamar Echad. It's considered one of the 10 statements, but above that, we don't count it. The thought as it is on its own, and the essence of thought, Ma'ata sofer, what can you count? Ki ein sham adayin ischalkus sphirus oros bekelim. Because you do not have yet the division of lights and vessels in the spheros, bekelim, vilevushim shonim, in vessels and different garments. Elahu yizbarech echad pashut betachlis apshitus, but he is one in simply in the ultimate of simplicity. Ulechein omrim shema Yisrael dafka. And that's why we say, listen, Israel specifically, because Israel came up in thought. Israel is that, in this memory, we're talking about Israel being that level, that Israel was Ohr Hatorah Devarim, Havaya Elokeinu, how Havaya is Elokahu, and in Israel Ohr Hatorah. That's the concept of Israel came up in thought as it is on its own, beyond the source for speech as it's implied in the word Echad. And then we say Hashem is one. And all this, that it could have been created all with one statement. So we talked about the idea of listen Israel, the contemplation, how Havaya is our Eloka. So we said, listen, Israel. What does Israel have to think about? He has to think about how vaya Elokeinu mashi Israel alo b'machshava. This, that, I guess when we say vaya Elokeinu, it means it's personal to us. That is how we came up into Hashem's thought. That it applies to us. That we come from a high source. Vaya Elokeinu mashi Israel alo b'machshava. V'nyan havaya echad dalar rabasin. We talked about the havaya echad. Hashem is one, and the big daled of Makor דיבור, מחשבה of דיבור.